hello everyone, and welcome to ProLine Direct from Las Vegas, the gaming capital of the world. It's week 2 of the NFL season. I'm John Cranton, joined by Vegas cappers Hollis Barnhart and Zach Simony. We're going to take a look at some of the upcoming games, 3 games on the week 2 card. First, let's tell you what we have going on. Jim Feist off that 9-5 college football Saturday. He was 3-1 with high roller plays, including Penn State and Army. Could have been a better record if Michigan State hadn't fallen apart late. He's also a perfect 2-0 with college conference games of the month. He has another one going on Saturday, plus already online. He has his NFL rivalry game of the month. That's the Thursday NFL game. You can get that play and more at jimfeist.com. Harvard Hollis Barnhart is joining us. Harvard, what a run since August 1st. You have a 27-10 with all plays, including a couple of winning weekends, not only in college and NFL, but also with best bets here on the show.
Well, I'd like to think that for the last 31 years in Las Vegas handicapping, consistency is basically my middle name. Week 1, 5-2. Week 2, 5-2. That's 72%. August, I was 74%, going 17-6. And if you total them all up, 27-10, that's 73%. Also 2-0 on my best bets, so that's good off the show. It's always nice to give a best bet winner to all the viewers out there. And my offer this week is going to be fantastic. I have another dog. In fact, my big upset game of the opening week last week was taking Miami Dolphins on the money line, and it got there straight up. I have another dog this week, just like the Miami Dolphins, but it's in college, and there's not only one, not two, but 3 of them. So if you go to the jimfeist.com and just check me out, you'll be able to get all 3 dogs, which one of them, I promise you, in the colleges will be an outright, straight up, upset winner.
And speaking of high winning percentages in football, Zach Simony, let's see, 3-1 in the first week of college football, 3-1 last week, and then to start the NFL season, you not only hit the best bet on this show with the Raiders, but your online plays are perfect. 3-0. You had Houston, Carolina, and San Francisco. Zach, everybody in the world was betting against Carolina. What did you see to go in the other direction?
Well, honestly, I put the pick up when Cam Newton was still questionable. Decided to stick with it, and the reason being the line kept moving up, obviously, when Derek Anderson was named the starter. Here's a guy that's been a journeyman, but is capable. He was a Pro Bowler with the Cleveland Browns, and he was an okay starter in Arizona. Obviously, he had his more downs than ups there, and now he's settling in as a backup. But putting him in as a starter week 1 against the Tampa Bay team with a lot of question marks, new head coach, new starting quarterback in McCown, and going up against a team, this isn't a team that was 9-7 last year, 10-6. They were 12-4, so that's one of the reasons why I went with the pick.
Okay, and if you want to get picks from these handicappers and more, make sure you go to jimfeist.com. How to get there? We'll see that football helmet in the lower left. That is a link to the website. You can find plays from Zach, Harvard, Jim Feist, and more right there. All right, let's get into our first game, guys. We got the Saints playing the Browns on Sunday, and you got the high-octane Saints offense. They're great at home, but they have had some trouble in recent years on the road as well as playing on natural grass. The Browns had a very strong defense last season, and they are settled in at quarterback with Brian Hoyer. Didn't quite see that great defense, though, last week. They come off the rivalry game with Pittsburgh. They lost 30-27, coming from way back. But in the end, that defense gave up 490 yards. The offense had 389. Meanwhile, you got a Saints team that they're on a 3-6 straight up, 2-7 ATS run on the road. Everybody knows about the Saints offense, but I'll start with their defense. Rob Ryan loves to bring the blitz. This team had 49 sacks last year, very good linebacking core and secondary. But we didn't see it in week 1. They gave up 569 yards to the Falcons. They lost 37-34. So you have a pair of winless teams here. So Harvard, which one of these two has the better matchup for week 2?
Well, I love going into the dog pound. Opening day back in Cleveland, there's nothing like it. And as you referred to, New Orleans Saints laying 7 points on the road. I mean, 2-6 on the road point spreads win. 6 straight games have gone under. So let's talk about when you go under, but you're laying 7 on the road. Rob Ryan bringing in that blitz, like you mentioned, they could over pursue and really set up everything that the Browns need to do. As far as that defense that you mentioned, John, Joe Thomas, Alex Mack, Pro Bowlers on the offensive line. The defense with Joe Hayden, he'll keep you honest. He had 64 interceptions since the year 2010. Brian Hoyer, he was really bad last week. 2 for 11 on third downs. I don't think that's going to get the job done. So just the game plan should be just let them hand off. They had 183 yards rushing last week. All they need to do is hand off the ball, take your 7 points, and remember that a bad road team with 2 games in a row on the road is not a good recipe for laying 7 points on the road. And there's an old saying that I've always gone to, and one of the first things that I ever think about is you don't lay on the road, you might get run over. And I think that New Orleans laying 7 points on the road is going to get crushed.
Well, they're going up against this Cleveland team that they did get the cover last week, but they didn't win as part of a 1-11 straight up 4-8 ATS run going back to last season. However, we have a new coach here in Mike Pettin, comes over from the Bills, a defensive coordinator, inherits a pretty good defensive talent. They were 8th against the pass, 18th against the run last week. Did struggle against the Steelers, giving up 490 yards. It was kind of a mixed bag for them. The offense gave up 3 sacks. Hoyer threw for 230 yards, 19 of 31, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. So, Zach, this defense should be better than it looked against the Steelers. So how are they going to stop quarterback Drew Brees, or should they just not show up at all?
Yeah, I'm going to look at the total on this, 47 and a half at some places. But, defenses are struggling for both of these teams, and I think with the Cleveland Browns, if they didn't show what they did in the second half against the Steelers, it probably wouldn't be a play. But they showed some confidence. The entire preseason, they were unable to move the football, and in the second half, Pittsburgh just let them come back. I mean, they almost came back and won outright. So there's confidence there with that offense. Brian Hoyer showed last year before his injury he can get on the field and play decent. So going against the Saints, who had some statistical just collapses last week against the Falcons. I mean, they had Julio Jones had 116 yards, Devin Hester had 99 yards receiving, Roddy White 72 yards, Harry Douglas 70 yards, and even one of the tailbacks had a 50-yard reception. So if you see stats like that, it's going to be a disaster. So I'm going to go with the over on this one. It's early in the week, so I would get it in now. Well, let's play that 47.
All right, I'm going to take a look at the total as well. First of all, the underdog is 4-0 ATS when these teams meet, and the Saints, they're on that bad road run, but they're also on a 13-6 run under the total overall. However, the defenses were terrible last week. The Browns, their last 6 home games, they're 5-1 over the total overall. They're on a 7-3 run over the total overall. And the Saints, in week 2 of the NFL, they really get their offense going after week 1. So week 2, they're on 11-3 run over the total. I'm kind of looking at maybe a 31-24 type of final, but I'll be with you, Zach. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game in Cleveland.